Okay, so we are going live.
Do you have bowls?
No,
Not
we'll
yet.
get one. If you guys want to get one ready for us, then we can do it.
Hey, everybody. I think we're live.
I think we're live. Are we live?
Are we live? Are we live?
We never know when we're live. We're live. So yes. See, that's the problem with us. We never know where we are or what we're doing. But
You're live.
we're live. So it's so live with Steph and Eileen.
Steph, Eileen, and a studio audience
Studio
tonight.
audience today.
Yay. We had some travelers that decided to stop in, and they shopped their little hearts out.
Oh, there we go. This is why we don't want to travel.
And she's telling you guys to turn off your sound.
I just haven't gotten that far. Eileen.
So they stopped in, and they did their shopping, and we promised them food and maybe a little bit of wine, and they said
We can share the same bowl. We just have two.
yeah. So Dwayne's serving us up some yum-yums, so that we're going to be talking about later tonight. I am trying to
We're still trying to get on Iowa Falls.
I am.
Okay, so should we talk about the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
So our question tonight is, inspired by our traveling guests, how far have you traveled to get to a quilt shop? Not on a daily basis or anything like that, but what's the farthest you've gone?
What's the farthest you have gone? And it can be like maybe the quilt shop was your destination, like your specific destination, or maybe it's, you just happen to travel to a quilt shop. But I kind of am more interested in specifically for a quilt shop.
Yeah.
Because that shows your dedication, and really we want to see how dedicated you are.
Yes. So our Florida people, I mean, if you think about Shop Hop, we have all kinds of people that come from out of state for our shop.
Tallahassee lassies.
Yep.
If you guys remember any of them during Shop Hop, which, guess what? Shop Hop fabric. We don't have it here.
We don't have it here, but we have it in Iowa Falls.
And I was looking at it, and everybody who has seen it is absolutely in love with it. And I was feeling it, and it's like, I don't know, it's beautiful.
It's nice fabric.
It's wonderful. So super excited about that. Tonight we're off script because I had to, you guys asked if we would do a paper piecing thing. And I really wanted to bring my baby, which is over here off camera. Say hi, baby. My Bernina. So I had to run home and get it because I forgot baby. So
nobody puts baby in the corner.
And I did. I'm sorry, baby. But anyways, so we're going to try to do a little demonstration for paper piecing tonight. And of course, we've got high technology here. So you'll have to bear with us.
We got a winner here.
Who's that?
Corey Rochelle maybe, says she went to East China, Michigan, last summer.
Michigan. Not East China. Is there an East China, Michigan?
I forgot. I went to Costa Rica.
Oh, you did?
I mean, I can't say that I went there specifically for the quilt shop, and what I found was not necessarily the quilt shop of what we know, but I can't really count that. Nancy Jansen went to Missouri Star.
So you guys are going down. You're doing the Mecca trip.
Yeah,
that's what I call it. It's like everybody needs to go to Disneyland or Disney World at least once in their life. Mm-hmm. Every quilter should go down to Missouri Star Quilts. So,
and because where else are you going to find 7 shops? Yeah, it's 7 shops, and it's
really cool.
Amazing. It's nice how the whole town gets behind it.
It's really cool. And you know what? If we could turn Story City or Iowa Falls or both into a
quilting mecca,
that would be cool.
So that would be like the whole trip. So you go past on the way down, you go to there, and then you come past all the way back up.
You painted your fingernails.
I did.
I like it.
It took many days.
It looks good.
I am not talented in this department. I will tell you.
I've never seen her with painted fingernails before.
See, you don't see me here. That's it.
That's awesome. That's so beautiful.
No, you should have seen him before. I was in different stages as the days went by. I couldn't do all of it.
Do you know how I paint my fingernails? I make a big old mess, and then when I'm in the shower, I just scrape off the bits you don't need, right?
Yep.
Because I'm terrible at it.
We are not the only people who do things like that.
Did you do that too?
I talked to somebody else this week, and she's like, yeah, my sister is just so embarrassed about the way that I paint my nails. And you know who it is. But anyway, yeah, she's like, and she said, and the people who paint nails professionally, are rather offended by the way she does it too.
Yeah, do what you got to do, folks.
It is.
All right, you guys. So we just got back last week from the Nevada show, and I will say that the Nevada show was absolutely fabulous.
It was good.
It wasn't as busy as last year,
No.
but it was so much fun. We got to, of course, meet and hang out with our other fellow local quilt shop owners, which is always a blast for us.
Well, and it was really nice. It truly takes a village, and I really enjoyed the fact, one, we had Stan come and help us, both sides.
Thank you, Stan, if you're on here.
We had Denise, we had Denny. So having all of them, plus our husbands, both of them were able to be there and help us. Then, and Darla.
Miss Darla. Yep. So,
but it was fun because one of the ladies came up and she was getting signed in late the next day. She didn't come set up until the day of.
oh, Marlene.
And, yeah, Marlene from Quilted Strawberry. And then, so then.
Not to call Marlene out that she was late.
No. It was just the way it was. But, so then Barbara and I were both over there helping her get set up. It was like, where do you want this? I don't know. Just find an empty spot. So
it was
just
so
fun. You know,
much fun.
It's just a neat community because where else can you have your competitors also be friends?
Right. And it's fun to like find other people who are just as weird as you are. Because it's true.
Yeah.
Not that we're weird, but you know.
Quilting centric? Maybe that's what
I
we're
don't
saying. We're oriented right around quilting.
We're awesome. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So, Steph, what do we got over here? We've got some goodies. And do we have any other announcements?
We've got.
We have
do
a
we
class,
have anything coming up? Do we have any
we have
shows
a
or
class
anything like that?
tomorrow.
Yeah, you went to Portland, Oregon.
Holy mackerel, guys. I am causing a ruckus. So this is a class tomorrow. If anybody wants to sign up, it's so colorful. And basically it is color theory that we're going to be working on. We're
It's
also
actually
going to be
quite cool. There's an entire
panel that we're going to be doing.
And it's actually one panel that you don't have to go find the pieces that go onto it because there's another panel that you can apply those on. It's very cool. And it's going to make a good final. Actually, you could probably decoupage it on something.
Oh, you could. You absolutely could. Good idea. And if you guys notice, this is all blank back here. Because I've had Crystal do some rearranging of all of our stuff. So when you come in, you're going to see lots of things that are different. So when you do need to come in because she's done a lot of like changing of placement and stuff. So that way, hopefully you guys can see it better. We can see it better. And yeah.
Well, and it catches your eye more if it's not in the same spot all the time.
Exactly. And I didn't have to do it. Crystal did.
And I didn't either.
And Steph didn't either.
And
That's a plus. So you guys will have to come check that out. We've got some new stuff. We got some new, what do you call
5D
those?
diamond.
The 5D diamond. Lots of new 5D diamond in.
So you just want to show all those?
Go for
as long as we're going to go. Okay, so we've got Bookmark Central here, guys. We've got, I don't even know what these are necessarily named, but this is Mandala Bookmark. If you like blues and purples and greens, that's a really good one.
So in case you remember, there's partial kits and there's also full kits. And these are all partials, which means that you have the image on the background that's not the beads, and then you have it as beads. This one's my favorite. This is Butterfly Pink Paris. So these are gorgeous. Here, I just want to pass these around. Girl was standing there patiently, and I finally got the, she wants to pass it around.
Well, I could say something about all of them, but, you know.
These are so,
Do you like
cool.
peacocks? There's a peacock.
That one's a great one. I think
those are fun.
Oh, gosh.
Lots of flowers, which are always nice.
These are so, you guys, these are addicting. Just FYI.
They really are. Owls.
Oh, I love the owl one.
That one reminds me of Shannon every single time.
Crystal took the John Deere tractor one home.
Oh, okay.
So that
she's work
Ashley
on that
can work on it.
Excellent. We've got butterflies. Okay, so those are our bookmarks. Then we have, if you want to get fancy for Christmas, for your really special friends.
I was going to say, this might be just for that, one or two people that you really like.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to give that. But like you said before, you always get this little tray in here, and you get this little applicator, plus the directions over here, and then all the beads. And these are over here.
And remember, you guys, that these are all made right here in Iowa out of Cedar Rapids. So it's very cool.
And then Eileen found pencil cases, but they do not have to be used for pencils. So this is like how you could bling your pencil case out. You can use it for knitting needles. You can use it for quilting supplies. You know, throw your seam ripper and all your pens and things like that in here. So lots of fun. Oh, that one's upside down. Unless you want your butterfly flying down. There you go. I don't know. It could be either way. So that covers all those. But then the journals. Okay, now some of these journals have lines inside and some do not. So it just depends on which kind you want, if you like the picture or if you want to draw your own lines. But most of these are very, sorry, I just keep putting everything up right in the middle of your face.
Oh, mine? I don't care. Better to look at than my face, so it's all good.
So there you go. Just lots of different designs. And, you know, these guys do not look that exciting, but when you put the actual beads on them, they are a lot fancier. And so we're going to have our sample here in just a second. But then we also have these new big ones, Coco Pele. That was always one of my husband's favorite designs. And that one is a 12 by 16. So, I mean, it's going to keep you occupied for a little while.
So just so you guys can see, this is what it actually looks like. So it doesn't look very pretty, but once you get all your bling on there, it is super, super beautiful.
And this is a partial kit.
Yep.
So partial just means that not that they don't give you everything, but that you don't have to cover the entire thing. And those usually tend to be more blingy than what the other ones tend to be. Then we have a horse. This is a really big one, Carrie.
I was just thinking Carrie.
This is 16 by 20. So that would keep you occupied. And then we have, what's this one? Is this our Nomi?
That's a Nomi one. That's one we had for a while, but I think he's cute.
He's still cute. If you like your gnomes, this is always a good gnome to have. And this one is 12 by 16 also. So good sizes. And there's the Coco Pele one. So just a few new items and pretty popular all the way around on those. So that's mine. You have something you want to throw in on that one and then you can show other new items, or do you just want to go with the
No, just keep going.
Okay, lots of new items. Okay, guess what, guys? We went for a period of time without Miss Marguerite.
She's back.
But she's back, and she brought friends.
So we have
not only the 10 by 10s, we have more of the 5 by 5s, and we have 4 bolts that came with her. So additional parts if you want to see how those go. So anyway, always nice to have her back. Plus, we do have a few that are on the $9 rack, and I'm guessing they're still there, that go with her very nicely.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't know. After our friends came to visit.
Hair on my face. So here's our charm packs, or 5 by 5s. And then these are white swirl, black swirl. These do not have that pearlescence to them. I don't know if you guys can see.
But they sort of look like they do.
They're very beautiful. And then these guys are the winners in my book. These are my favorites. So, oops. See, there we go. Got that.
We put things on we can't see.
And we've got this. And it's got that beautiful, like, pearlescent. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous these are. So. Okay.
And then
this one is exclusive to Iowa Falls because I had a gal that came in and she was looking for some. So we didn't have anything like this. And we need to fill in some gaps at Iowa Falls. So I went ahead and ordered that.
But it's all blues and yellows, guys.
Yeah,
if you're Ukrainian or if you are just like in blues and yellows, that works really well.
And so we've got some yardage to match with that as well.
Okay.
From Iowa Falls. And let's open it up. I hate the plastic they put on these things sometimes.
Well, you want me to open it up while you talk?
No, you talk.
Okay. I don't have anything. Oh, you want me to talk about this? Okay. Eileen watches TV or shows online.
Look at that. Look at that. So pretty.
The blues are fantastic.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. So pretty. Okay.
So Eileen was watching another show and she saw this one.
I did.
And it is an easier way to do Mariner's Compass.
Or at least it looked easier.
Is it like 16 points instead of 32? I think that's what it is. So, I mean, if you don't want to go all the way and do that 32
It says every block can be made in 16 sizes, even sizes from 6 inches to 36 inches.
So there
with
you
this
go.
template.
So, and the thing is, this template is this big. And the way that she showed it online, Eileen showed me just a little bit of it. It was slick. It's like you just got one side and then you go to, and it's numbered, I think. Wasn't this one numbered?
I don't remember. I just knew I had to get it. So I did, and then I figured I'll figure it out later.
So anyway, it's new to our shop. If you guys have ever wanted to make a mariner's compass, this is definitely the way that I would go.
So
even though I haven't used it.
here's my deal for you. If you want to come in and learn how to use it, and then teach us how to use it, I might give you a little discount on it. What do you think about that? So it like Steph said, it looked really slick, and I really want to try it. So
That's why we have it.
that's why we have it.
So if you've ever always wanted to do one, here's your chance.
Here's your chance.
So.
All right, you guys. So I brought in a little something from Iowa Falls.
Your mom said she came all the way to Iowa from Washington just for us.
She did, actually. Yeah. So if you guys know, I'm originally from Washington State. So Mom actually came here to help us open.
Stan's complaining because everything's moved around.
Sorry, Stan.
Just have to learn.
Anyways, so I wanted to bring and showcase a little bit of Iowa Falls tonight. And the girls there, I always say, they do a fabulous job of putting together kits and samples and things. And I believe, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I think if Lisa's on here anyways, either it was Lisa or Jan that put these things together. I think it was Jan. But what she did, and we've done a little bit of this here too, but I just love this presentation. She took one of these wonderful layer cakes, these 10 by 10. So this is from Bendertex. Am I upside down?
No, I said just angle it down a little bit because of the lights.
No, I'm kidding. So this is a line called Adorable Alphabet. And of course we have the coordinates that go with it at Iowa Falls on the bolt. It's an adorable line, you guys. And if you can see.
It says so in the name.
It truly is. So if you can see some of those things right there, all of Bendertex's stuff is cut and assembled right in the United States, so they have easy access to do more when they need to. So she was able to make 3 baby quilts out of that one layer cake. So sometimes you think a layer cake is, gosh, that's expensive. But in actuality, you're really getting a good deal with it. Now, you do have to add some, other background prints or whatnot. This is from a Villa Rosa pattern called Darcy. Okay, and all of these are Villa Rosa $2 patterns, super cheap. And it's just the sweetest thing ever. And she used the beautiful light gray with a little white flower background on there. And of course, then she added some lovely Minky or Cuddle or whatever the heck that is, if they have it. I'm not sure what this is. Chenille, thank you. I heard it in the audience. It's so wonderful. So this is quilt number 1 made from that.
Okay.
And that, of course, is using Darcy, the Villa Rosa. Again, Villa Rosa patterns are amazing. $2. Don't forget that if you collect Villa Rosa patterns, to make sure you have the app on your phone. If you don't have an app, did you guys know there's a Villa Rosa app?
There is an app.
So go to your app store, look up Villa Rosa Designs.
It should be pink.
You can keep track of the ones you want. You can keep track of the ones you have. And then when the new ones come out, you get to see them on there. Okay. So
For that design?
yeah, Villa Rosa. So if you guys don't have it on your phone, make sure to get it on your phone. It's very
You got
cool.
yours, right?
I don't have that.
Steph's showing him the app right now. Okay, this is going to be quilt number 2. And again, it's another Villa Rosa app called Cheryl.
Villa Rosa app?
Or Villa Rosa Design,
Pattern.
thank you, pattern. Called Cheryl. And of course, we've got it sideways here, but that way you can see the whole thing. It's just soft greens and
they're
yellows.
good baby sizes.
They're fantastic baby sizes. And this is for the family, the folks that don't want to know the gender of the baby. And that seems to be a trend nowadays.
Huge trend.
And of course,
Oh my
we
gosh.
got the chenille, the beautiful green chenille on the back, which Iowa Falls has that. So that is Villa Rosa pattern called Cheryl.
So with a C or an S?
With an S.
Oh.
Cheryl
With
with an
a
S.
C, that'd be my mom.
Yeah. So very just kind of square and a square, very cute. And the last one, which is, so the first one was more girl-oriented, traditional girl. Second one was more that neutral. This one is a little bit more boy. It's got our blues and our grays, and just these sweet, soft colors. They're just absolutely gorgeous.
It's a wonderful line for the babies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
And it's just absolutely adorable. I think I got the whole line because I couldn't decide which ones to get. So we got the whole collection, I think.
That's becoming
Almost.
a trend.
Well, and then of course, then they put this Cuddle on the back, and this is, if you could see, it's got a little sparkle to it.
That was our Cuddle.
Yep.
I
No, they
recognize
had
that.
some of that there too. Oh, yeah.
We all have that.
We all have that one. And this one is called Sahara. Another Villa Rosa pattern called Sahara. So very simple, very neat. With one layer cake, 10 by 10, whatever you want to call these things, you can get 3 quilts. So if you were like me a few years back when everybody in the office decided to get pregnant and you had 3 women who were having 4 babies, you do the math to figure that one out. It was baby making quilt season. So, and in Iowa Falls for the month of April, we are doing April baby shower sale where you get 20% off of baby kits in the month of April. So,
Okay.
all right.
That's a lot of territory.
That is a lot of territory. We're going pretty fast tonight. We
Yeah.
tend to do that, and then we slow down.
Let me slow down. I'm going back up here.
Again, we're unscripted.
Pat wants to know the price on the manuscript.
We don't know yet.
It's priceless, Pat.
It's priceless. You can't put a price on things like that.
It will have one eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, let's see here. What else are we going to talk about?
Faye says she was born in Vancouver, Washington 100 years ago.
Hey,
About 100.
I didn't know that.
So there
Really?
you go.
I was born in Vancouver, too. Were you born in Memorial Hospital? Because I think that's where I was born at. You'd have to ask my mom, though. I wasn't really there.
Okay, you want me to adjust the...
Okay, so as requested, you guys had asked us to do a little paper piecing thing. So remember we talked about last time that everybody kind of does their paper piecing in a different way. This is the way I do mine. And if you guys have a better way to do it, please share your ideas and thoughts because I always love to learn new things. And yeah, Steph, go ahead. So this is how high tech we are. Right about there. That looks good.
Okay.
Does that look good, you guys? Can you see?
Oh,
wait.
You're on there.
Let me move this out of the way. Y'all don't need that.
Don't need to actually see that.
Well, y'all know it's there, but this leads me to my number 1 rule and tip of the night. Always cut before you drink. Okay. Unless you're doing something like this. Okay. So here are some tools of the trade. So you can get, okay, let's back up. What is foundation paper piecing? Foundation paper piecing is where you take paper and you put a design on it and then you sew on it. And if you could sew a straight line on the line, then you can do foundation paper piecing. The beautiful thing about foundation paper piecing is you can do crazy things. Darla, can you grab some of Chris's stuff? Like maybe her star pattern one? Or maybe the girls behind you. The Stella trans... Nope. That's the one.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Let's grab that one. So Chris Hobbs here in town, she creates these beautiful paper piecing patterns from Hobbs Designs. And you can do these amazing points perfectly by using paper. Okay, so once you start foundation paper piecing, which is different than English paper piecing, once you start foundation paper piecing, you guys will fall in love with it and want to do it for everything you do.
And it can be machine as opposed to
Hand.
Okay. Foundation is most likely.
Right. So you can either get a pattern like what Chris has, and on the inside you always have your pattern pieces, okay? Now remember, when you're doing a pattern like that, you always want to make a copy of the pattern. You don't want to actually ever use the original because maybe you want to make it again, and if you use it, then you can't make it again. So always make a copy. So this is something called, it's So Emma. It's a quilt block foundation paper square and square pattern. Okay, so this is what we're playing with tonight. All right, so I'm going to make this beautiful square and square pattern without using really any rulers or anything like that to make it. So sorry, girls. So you guys can see up here in our studio audience.
Now, are any of you paper piecers?
I haven't.
Have you guys ever wanted to?
I've watched videos.
One quilt. And how did you like it? Not so much?
I had an entire sheet cake of chocolate cake, which I had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I like your idea.
Beautiful when it was done,
Yeah.
but
Not
I haven't ventured that into it.
into it? Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe some of these tips here might help you want to do that. Because if anybody knows me, they know I'm a lazy sewer. So if I can find an easier way to do something, yeah, then I
do
definitely...
have the papers for foundation
Yeah.
piecing staff.
So what she's talking about is, so let's say you have a pattern that you just want to print off, or you want to use Chris's pattern and you need to print it off. So you have a couple choices. This is Papers for Foundation Paper Piecing, 100 sheets for, I think, $16.99. This you can run through your printer. Okay, So these are fabulous. The other one that you have is, of course, our Quilter Select. And these are wonderful as well. You can put them in the printer. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're fabulous. They have a nice texture to them. And the trick with these, which is kind of neat, is that you can get the seam wet and it just peels away. So it's a little easier when it's coming time to tear away the papers. Okay. Or you can leave it in and then it kind of washes out. Most of it will wash out. Okay, so these are some of the tools. Another tool that you guys want to have at hand is something called an add a quarter ruler. Okay, so you can get this in a 6-inch size, which is what I like to use, a 12-inch size, which we're out of and I need to reorder.
Those have been flying off the shelf.
The 12-inch is what Chris likes to use the best. You can get it in this large 18-inch, which I think works with...
It works well with her big patterns on that one because she has so many big pieces.
Big pieces. And so you might be wondering, what is so special about these add a quarter rulers? And if you could see, I don't know if you can see, you see that little ledge or lip that it has? That allows you to bump it up against your fabric and all your paper piecing bits like this. So maybe that's a good way to show it to you. So that way you can have a perfectly flat... Down? There we go. Can you see that?
See it from the top and it's lined up.
There you go.
I meant the other way.
Sorry. The other down?
This part down. The front part down.
I don't know what she's doing. I'm like, down, up? I don't know. Anyways, if you guys could see how that just kind of goes right there and it makes it just a nice flat surface and it makes it easier to be cutting. Okay? All right. So now I brought in my baby. I also have with me a hot iron and a wool mat, which I'm going to move the cords from underneath it.
Now remember, if you were going to use your wool mat, don't do it on top of your cutting mat.
Because it will warp it regardless of what mat it is. I've brought out my Quilter Select mat, but most importantly, in Quilter Select, if you're listening, which awesome, you're watching us, hello,
Yay!
Y'all need to be making these, 6x8 little mats. These are indispensable. They're inexpensive, and it is the Poor Lady's rotating mat. Okay,
so Quilter Select, if you're also watching, please do a 28mm rotary cutter.
Yes. As much as I use this thing, I would much rather use a Quilter Select one because they're much better products. But this is also your other tool that you need to have at your hand, because you can use a 45. You can use, which I don't know where ours is at, you can use a 60 for paper piecing, but let me tell you, your fingers will not thank you because you will cut yourself. Okay. Even if you've not been drinking. So, you guys ready to get started? Oh, I almost forgot. The lazy bit. A glue stick. So this is a fabric glue pen. And this is going to replace any needs for pins. So some people like to use the pins when they're paper piecing. I do not.
Because you poke yourself.
Because I poke myself. So Quilter Select fabric glue stick. These are fabulous. Are we still going? Yes, we are. So that is timed out over there. So we're just going to keep going. All right. Okay. So if you notice on your paper, you have sections, and those sections are numbered. So what does this remind us of? Color by numbers. That's all we're doing. We're just painting by numbers. Very easy. Painting with fabric. So, of course, we're going to start with 1 and 2 together, okay? Now, everything that I'm going to be doing with the fabric is going to be on the back side of this piece of paper, okay? So, having the ability, maybe a light box or just holding it up to a light source or something so you could see the images through the back side is kind of important. The other thing is you want to make sure that your fabric pieces that you're working with is at least a 1/4 inch. So this is going to be my number 1 fabric. It needs to be at least a 1/4 inch all the way around that number 1 piece. Okay. So for this, I just quickly went like that and went, yep, that works. And this is a great way to use up scraps if you need to. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back to back, and I want the right side to be facing out. So you might think that you want it to be right sides together, that type of thing, but I want the right side to be facing out for my first piece.
And can you leave it square with this outer square, or do you want it square with the inner square?
I don't care. I just want it, this could be a triangle for all I care. I just want to make sure it's going to fit this space all the way around. It could be a gigantic triangle that's huge. I just want to make sure it's going to fit. Of course, the bigger it is, the more difficult it might be to maneuver. But I just need it to be bigger than this.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to take my fabric, you'll see this, and my glue stick. Handy dandy glue stick, which is ew, gross. And I'm going to glue stick somewhere down here in my seam allowance. And that's all that's going to do, just hold my fabric. Now this is taking a place of pins, because I don't like pins. Because then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to have that pin, even if it's a flower head pin that's supposed to be flat, in the way. Why use that? Plus I poke myself all the time and I don't want blood on my stuff. So now I'm going to take, so I've got my piece number 1 down. Now I'm going to go for, oops, where am I at? Number 2. Okay.
Is this supposed to go all the way past that point?
It's past, yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. It's
Okay.
fine. So I'm going to look for my number 2 and I fold on the number 2 line between the number 1 and number 2. I just fold it. And this is really thin paper. I'm used to thicker paper, so I've not actually used this set before, so this is going to be interesting. Now what I want to do, so I have this business here. You see how I folded that back? Does that make sense, girls?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to take my add a quarter ruler and I'm going to place it right up against the fabric, or excuse me, the paper. So you see, by folding the paper back, I've created a ledge. And so that beveled edge, or the ledge of the add a quarter, allows me to sit perfectly flat, that ruler. Now, I'm going to take my little doohickey.
Okay.
Thank you. And done.
Burns.
Always make sure that y'all are putting your little safeties back on, because we don't want any cut fingers. And so this is what I should have. My seam allowance right there. So you girls see that? Okay. So that is what I have right there. Now, I'm going to take my next piece. So this is piece number 2. And I'm going to make sure, I don't know why this is popping up, but we're going to get rid of that, that it will fit all the way around my triangle, I guess, at this point. So you see how that goes all the way around my triangle?
That's all the piece.
Right there. So that's going to work perfect for me, okay? So now I'm going to flip it back to the fabric side. So remember, you have a fabric side and a paper side. And I'm going to line this guy up with that edge right there. Take my glue stick, because remember, you can either use pins or glue stick. And you don't have to do a lot, just enough for it to stick. Make sure you always put your cap back on, or so it'll dry up really fast. And I'm going to make sure that it's lined up like that. And if you want, you could just do a little quick check to make sure if you fold it back, it's going to cover your whole part of the paper. See that there? Covers part of the paper. Okay, now I'm going to flip it back to the paper side. I'm going to take it to baby here, which I don't think I've gotten ready yet. Oh. And try not to burn myself, because I've got the iron right here. And I'm going to sew on that line, you guys. And I'm going to start just at a little bit before. I'm going to turn my stitches down. So you're normally at like a 2.5. I'm going to drop it down to like a 1.4, 1.5. So that way it makes it more perforations in there. It makes it easier to tear your paper out after you're done. Okay?
Also, if you have little short connections, you have more stitches in that small area.
Right. So the other thing that you want to be using is maybe a microtex needle. It's a sharper needle. It's going to go through the paper, through your fabric. It's not going to leave huge holes and all of that stuff. Okay, so here we go. Remember not to burn yourself. And it's okay to start a little bit before the start of your line. This thing is so awesome, you guys. I wish you could see what I'm seeing right now, but you can't. I love this machine. And if you want, you could do a little bit of a back stitch. Oh, where's my back stitch at? I don't like to back stitch. There we go. All right, so there you have it. I have successfully sewed these 2 pieces of fabric onto this paper. If you could sew a straight line onto a line, anybody can paper piece. Bless you. Bless you. So now you're going to take this on this side. So this is what the fabric side looks like. And you are simply going to do just like what you would do with any other sewing. You're going to set your seam and open it up. Now, some people like to use a wooden roller type thing. I have used those, and I don't really care for them myself. I like to go the whole shebang with a good
regular
iron. Okay.
Well, and those little ones get so hot.
All right. So now we're going to continue on to number 3, which is in this corner. And I'll just keep doing that. And I just pulled it away from what I glued it down because I really don't need that anymore, so that's okay. I'm folding it back using my add a quarter to trim that guy up. And you can see how you can have all of these little tools. The smaller the sizes of these, you can have them sitting right at your sewing machine. So it's just right there. You don't have to get up. Actually, you probably should get up. Exercise is good for you. But again, I'm lazy, so I don't like to. You asked me why I'm wearing a dress. It's because I need to do laundry. All right. So now we're folding.
I've got a whole thing on how we need to be moving.
Yeah. We're sewing. Okay. And again, we're sewing. We've sewed that. Now we're going to pull this back. All right, girls. Which one of you want to come on live TV?
Oh, it seems like Lena does.
No, I don't. Jody does.
Jody, do you want to give this a try?
I will.
Now you've done paper piecing before, so you've got a little bit of background in this. Okay, so you just have to make sure you're not burning yourself. So go ahead and do number 4. And we're just going to use the pressure. Well, they can only see you from like here, so.
Okay, so number 4.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to admit that I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have.
Oh.
Okay,
So you're going to
I need to make sure that
it's going
it's
to.
going to cover.
So what I would do is take that piece that you got on the back side. Grab this. Go ahead and flip it over so we can see number 4. Does it cover it?
It sure does.
Perfect.
All right.
So now we're going to fold the 4 back at the 4 line. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and take our add a quarter ruler. There we go. And are you left or right handed?
Right.
Okay. So go ahead and just bump it up against that edge right there. And you're just going to trim away. You can just trim whatever you need to trim away. Yeah, there you go. And then as long as that is gone, maybe down a little bit further. There you go. Perfect. Okay.
I like this add a quarter ruler because it butts up right against the seam so that you don't have to worry about it slipping.
Yeah, it's like flawless. I love it. Okay.
Very similar to the squaring up blocks.
Yes. Oh, the block box.
Block box.
Yes.
Okay.
So now,
and
and these you are doing right side together. I think I forgot to mention that.
yes.
I'll move this out of your way so you
Okay.
can burn yourself.
I will get the glue stick.
So she's putting glue right on the seam allowance. So it holds it in place. Remember, pins are evil. At least in my world.
It also helps.
Okay, we have a question. Does the glue gun cup your machine?
No, it's special. It's made for fabric, so it's not going to gunk up your machine.
So now I'm just considering whether or not I want to follow the grain of this or do it the other direction.
Either way works.
Either way.
Yeah, as long as it covers it all up.
All
That's all we care about. There you
We'll
go.
lay that down.
So you guys, you notice that she had to make a decision because she's wanting to follow the grain. Does she want to or doesn't she? So that's something to consider when you're picking out fabrics for paper piecing. So now she's going to take it to the sewing machine. There you go. Oh, I love your boots. Are those duck ones?
They are not. They are Italian boots.
Oh.
They're even better.
Having Italian wine is Italian.
Italian wine and Italian boots.
It's Italian night, guys.
It's nice with the sewing machine as well because the Bernina foot, you can see right exactly where your needle's going to go. And so you can line up the line.
Exactly.
Do you have a Bernina?
I have a couple.
She's a Bernina
Okay.
fan.
I do.
I love my.
So she's not afraid to sew with this guy.
No, I love my Bernina. Okay, so there's that
All right.
for you when you need it.
So then I oftentimes finger press before I press.
nice and crisp and flat because we all love flat. I almost said fat scenes, but that wouldn't have been correct. We love our flat scenes, and our quilters love our flat scenes.
I always would say, if you want to end up with a quilt that's flat and square, you need to start out with fabric that's flat and square.
Yep, absolutely.
There we go.
Do the last one. I'll get you to do the last one. You're so good at it. Sure. And it looks like you fussy cut the middle too. Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
Did you mean that?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So she's folding it back at the line.
As I recall, I fold it back. I align my ruler, trim it. Now, do you throw these away or not? Because
I don't.
I collect
Little
anything.
tiny
Yeah.
pieces.
No.
tiny.
I mean, like, there's a certain point that I
This probably no.
Yeah, that I'd throw away, but no, I at all times I hang on to that kind of stuff.
That's
Well, I
my
believe
kind of
Miss
quilter.
Pat Minnick will keep anything, 3/4 of an inch or wider.
And like,
Because
yeah.
she loves paper piecing.
Well, and like those little bits, you guys can throw in and make like a dog bed and throw those in there and give it to like the dog or cat shelters and stuff like that. So that's a great use of scraps.
So I'm going to trim off my selvage just because I want to make sure that I don't get it in there. And then we'll stick this back on.
So we're using the Anthology fabric and the Cotton Shop Pearl fabric, you guys. So quite the combination.
Take it back to the machine.
Remove the hot thing.
So you may have your own location set up a little bit more safe.
Safety first, guys. Like Norm Abrams always says, the first thing we do is talk about shop safety. Never forget to wear these, your something glasses. I forget what you said.
Safety glasses?
Safety
Safety
glasses.
glasses, something like that, yeah. There we go.
Okay. So then, the other thing to keep in mind is we're going to need to have 1/4 of an inch on either side of that.
Mhm.
So when I'm cutting my fabric, I need to remember that it can't be
Right up next to
right
it.
up next to
Mhm.
it.
Although, if you guys do find yourself in a pinch where you've accidentally cut it a little bit too short, there are ways that you can paper piece into paper piece, if that makes any sense at all. So it's like you can kind of mend your paper piecing, which I've had to do because I accidentally cut it a little bit too short. So you can be creative with your paper piecing. So that is the crazy monster that we've just finished for this block. So now what we do, thank you very much. Wonderful job. Wonderful job.
Yay!
So now what we're going to do is we're going to square this guy up, and you can do one of two things. What is this, a 4.5? 4.5? Is this a 4.5? Yes. You can get one of these beautiful Quilter Select exactly 4.5 inch square rulers and place it on here. No, it's bigger than 4.5.
Well, it's probably 5. But the thing is, we probably needed 5.5.
We do, which we don't have.
We don't have because they don't have a 5.5. But you could probably use a 6 or a 6.5.
You guys want to see what I do at home? I flip the add 1/4 ruler to the back so it's all flat, and I just use this.
Now, do you have to add 1/4 here?
No, you're going to cut it down to this area here.
Okay.
And what's that area there?
Oh, sorry, guys. It's just the outside of the paper because that's your seam allowance right there. So get that out of the way. And actually, I don't like that because you guys,
Use something that's
I'm
not gonna-
spoiled. I love these things. They're wonderful.
You need your. Where's that hand? Here's your hand. Find this guy.
So throw these out. Turn it.
Want my hand?
Nah. Throw these guys like so, like that. That drives Steph crazy when I'm throwing stuff on the floor. But you know what? Eleanor Burns, she inspires me. So, you know, she's pretty amazing. That's not quite exact. That's okay. You get the gist. So now you guys, you have this perfect square and a square because you sewed on paper. Ta-da! And the like weirder the stuff is, like the pointy and stuff, you can make it look absolutely fabulous. And people will go, "Oh my gosh, you're such a good seamstress." And you're like, "I know."
Just don't tell them.
So now when it comes time to rip the papers, one of the things I always suggest, obviously if you're using the Quilter Select stuff, you can take a Q-tip or something and get it damp and it will tear easily. Or I like to put my finger on that seam as I'm tearing it. And again, because you've used short stitches, it's going to be nice and perforated and easy to tear. And this paper here is specifically made very thin. This foundation paper piecing is, I believe, the same way. You can print on regular 8.5, 11 paper or regular printer copy paper. You can draw on like I done it on vellum. I do not recommend that. I've also done it on oh gosh, parchment paper. Do not recommend that. But you kind of do. You kind of do what you what
the
you
lighter
have.
the paper, the better.
Yeah.
Well, and we even have some up there that you can use for.
Yeah, and so the quilting paper I've done, I don't recommend that because it smears. So a lot of these I don't recommend because they do smear pretty easily. And then using a micron pen is best because in that way it's not going to smear. So you guys, that is our little tutorial on paper piecing. Any questions?
Very nice.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yay! Right now.
I got it.
You use what?
Phone book?
Oh yeah, phone book paper.
Was this high enough?
I think a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right, you guys. So I don't know what our next thing that we're gonna demo. So we'll have
Do
to
you
come
want
with that.
to demo this, or do you want? I mean, it's 7:15.
Is it
So,
really?
Yeah.
Let's eat.
Okay. So, as you guys know,
Turn that.
the country register. Now, it looked to me like we were out. Are we out of these? Because I did not see any out there. So, if you're working on your mystery quilt, hopefully you have both pieces. If not, I'm sure you're going to have access online. She will make sure that we have that. So, yeah, you keep working on those mystery quilts. I've got mine.
We got 2 left.
Okay, we do have a couple out there. But tonight I made slow cooker chocolate peanut butter cake. So, let me tell you, there is peanut butter in every level of this cake.
I wonder if it's like peanut butter month or something,
I
or
don't know.
quarter or something.
I don't know. They have different things. Anyway, you start with the chocolate cake mix, and you add peanut butter, and then you add other cake mix ingredients. But you put it in your crock pot. You spray the crock pot down, and it looked very gooey. I was really amazed. I could actually hear it cooking, which was a little weird. I've never really heard crock pots cook before, but every now and then I could just click, click, click. That's really weird. But
Was it bubbling or something?
well, I think it was just drying out because it starts off so moist. So anyway, it takes 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours in the crock pot.
Now, was it like when you guys use crock pots in your home and the house smells like whatever is cooking, like pot roast or something, was it smelling like chocolate and whatnot?
It was.
Okay.
But it's funny because even though I washed my crock pot really well, I swear I could smell like
Potatoes.
potatoes and
Go, 'cause
roast and all
The
that
last
kind
thing you did was the
of. The last thing I made was
corned
the
beef and
stew.
cabbage.
Oh, yeah, I made the corned beef and
Uh-huh.
cabbage, but I also made stew in it. So it's a very versatile crock pot. But they do recommend a 6-quart, which is what I've got. And I just sprayed the heck out of the sides because I honestly don't want to clean all of it.
You can also get those crock pot, like plastic Reynolds wrap things you
Yeah.
can put in there too.
You could do that. I just didn't want to do that either. So I just sprayed the heck out of it. Anyway, when that was done, then you're supposed to put the entire pottery part of it, the inner part,
The ceramic.
the ceramic part, thank you, onto a wire rack. Let it cool for 15 minutes. During that 15 minutes, you can there's a peanut butter glaze that goes on top.
Now we're getting fancy.
Then you add, I just got like a Smucker's container of chocolate or fudge sauce, and then you put that on top. And I was watching it, I put it in the center part, and it just sort of started sliding down. So the edges might have a lot more than the other. And then you're supposed to top it with Reese's peanut butter cups. The little tiny.
You ate it already.
So anyway, yeah, our studio audience has already eaten, and they were not allowed to make yummy noises or gagging noises. to guide us into what we were doing. So now it is
Is
our
it all
turn.
gone? Did you guys eat the whole? Yeah. Okay. So they ate all of it. So
And they're still
it couldn't
sitting
be
here.
that bad. So
They
far,
were
yeah.
not small pieces either.
And they
No.
weren't. No.
And, well, I think they each had a piece this size or bigger.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
All right. You ready?
Ready?
So Steph and I are sharing tonight.
okay, that's
So you guys remember, and like I always say, we do this for your sake because we would hate for you guys to try any of these recipes without them being
correct.
correct
Well, I
and
mean,
accurate.
we found a couple of times where there's been a typo or something like that, so it's good to know.
Right.
We do this for you.
So
Just
this is
remember that.
lovely. And look at the texture. It's actually really
It looks very
beautiful.
moist.
Very moist. All right, let's go
Okay.
for it.
Definitely
Mm.
peanut butter.
That's really good. I'm glad you brought the whole thing. Because remember, Steph likes not to bring the whole thing on the things that I really like. Just kidding.
I just promised the girls at work tomorrow that I'm bringing that to go with our tacos. So
So, New Cara Friday, Taco
Mhm.
Day.
well, okay, so you guys know I'm newly a manager there. Anyway, the girls have been asking, so what are you making on the show tomorrow, or on Thursday night? Because they know whatever's left over goes to them. So they're thinking that me working on Fridays is a really good deal. And I happen to have today off, so I could make this at home and not have to worry about trying to do it.
There may not be leftovers. Sorry, girls. This is really good.
So anyway, yeah, if you don't like peanut butter, I would not recommend this because it's peanut butter on several levels.
So, this is out of this country register
Yep, it's near the back,
near the back. So,
not the very back.
no, I know. So,
I showed them already.
oh, did you?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
That's because you were busy doing other things.
I know. That seems to be the. That's very good. That's very, very good. And our studio audience, they loved it. So that's awesome.
I would also recommend if you wanted to have this with ice cream or a
Yes.
glass of milk.
Mhm.
I mean,
Or-
some people have it with wine.
I was going to say, because chocolate and red wine goes very well together. And what do you
I
guys
love
think of this? It was very good, isn't it? Yeah, I love a good red blend, and that's one from Italy. So very well together with the chocolate
And the boots.
and the boots. And that is really all we have for you guys tonight. I think we've made it just a little over, so it's not too terrible.
Not too bad.
Mm-mm. All
So-
right, guys. And I don't think there's anything really coming up.
That's our next thing because I don't know when our next shows are. Sorry, guys, I'm really out of it. So I just wait till Eileen tells me I'm supposed to be somewhere.
And I'm like, oh,
Like
yeah, we're
Saturday.
supposed to be. We're somewhere.
I'm here on Saturday. Marty and me this week, guys.
Oh, that's right.
And
Quilt Club also Saturday.
if Paige is paying attention, I need you. You have to choose fabric. Everybody else is done.
Yeah. So, that's what Darla's stuff is in there for.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I tried to make it easy on me, and it's a good thing because I haven't been here to do any kids.
No.
So,
All right, you guys.
Anyway.
So, thanks for hanging out with the best quilt shop owners here in Story City and Iowa Falls.
we'll see you next week. Same so time, same so place.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yay!
Thank you for staying, guys.